Now Cinyras, confronted with a crowd of worthy suitors, doubting what to do, asked Myrrha herself, inquiring name by name whom she would have for husband. She at first was silent, gazing in her father's face, her thoughts in turmoil, hot tears welling in her eyes. And Cinyras, who thought her tears were but a girl's misgiving, told her not to cry, and dried her cheeks and kissed her on the lips. His kisses, joy too thrilling. Then he asked what kind of husband she would like, and she said, "One like you." He did not understand and praised her. "May you never lose your love so dutiful." At dutiful the girl lowered her eyes, too conscious of her guilt. Midnight had come, and sleep relaxed the limbs and cares of men. But Myrrha lay awake, a prey to ungoverned passion, and resumed her frenzied longings, sometimes in despair, sometimes resolved to try, at once ashamed and yearning, vainly groping for some plan. And as a huge tree, wounded by an axe, only the last stroke left, will wait in doubt which way to fall, and every side's in fear, so Myrrha's mind, weakened by wound on wound, wavered uncertainly this way and that, nodding on either side, and found no end, no respite for her love except in death. Death it shall be. She rises up resolved to hang herself, tying her girdle to a beam. "Goodbye, dear Cinyras," she moans. "Goodbye, and understand why I must die," and fits the noose around her death-pale neck. They say some sound, some whisper of her words came to her nurse's ears, her faithful nurse, guarding her Myrrha's room. The old nurse rose, opened the door, and saw the means of death. She shrieked and beat her breast and tore her robe, and in the same short moment, seizing the noose, snatched it from Myrrha's neck. Then she had time at last for tears, and took her in her arms and asked the reason for the rope. The girl was silent, dumb, her gaze fixed on the ground, distraught that her attempt had been found out, and death too late. The old nurse pressed her hard, baring her white locks and her empty breasts, and begged her by her cradle, by the feeds of her first days, to trust her with the cause of her distress. She groaned and turned away. Resolved to find the truth, the old nurse pledged not only secrecy. Tell me," she said, "and let me help you. My old age is not inactive. If your mind's unhinged, my herbs and spells can cure it. If you've been bewitched, you shall be purified with magic rites. If it's God's anger, angry gods may be appeased by sacrifice. What else, I wonder? Your fortunes in your home are safe, I'm sure, and all goes as it should. Your mother's well, your father too." At father, Myrrha sighed from the bottom of her heart, but still the nurse imagined nothing villainous, but sensed some love affair, and persevered, and begged the girl, whatever it might be, to tell it her, and raised her as she wept to her old bosom, and enfolding her thus in her feeble arms, "I know," she said, "you are in love. Don't be afraid. In this my diligence may serve you very well. Your father shall know nothing." With a bound, Myrrha, beside herself, sprang up and sank face down among the pillows. "Go away," she pleaded. "Spare my misery and shame." And as the nurse pressed, "Go," she screamed, "or stop asking what tortures me. It is a crime you work so hard to know." Shocked and aghast, the good old woman stretched her trembling hands, shaking with age and dread, and falling on her knees before her darling's feet, she tried now winning words, now fear to make her share her secret. threatening to report the noose and death attempt, and promising her best service if she'll confide her love to her. Then Myrrha raised her head, her gushing tears rained down her nurse's bosom. Many a time she attempted to confess, and many a time bit her words back, and held her dress to hide her face of shame. Then, "Mother," came the words, "how happy in your husband." Nothing more except a groan. An icy shudder ran through the old woman's frame. She understood, and every hair upon her snowy head stood stiff on end, and many, many words she poured to expel that passion if she could, so terrible. The girl well knew the truth of what she warned, but still her purpose held to die unless she had her heart's desire. "Live then," the nurse replied, "and have your—" Not daring to utter "Father," she stopped short in silence. Then she called the gods of heaven to ratify the promise she had given.